All right, let's do
Welcome to
it.
Currency, where currency is our currency. With I'm one of your hosts, Angel Bay, with the beautiful How To Mama being the co-host,
It's
and we
love.
have a special guest, Tamara L from the United Republic of Morocco. And I'm just so
No,
happy that she's here to give
no.
her energy and time. Yes.
Yes, Tamara L.
Let
from
me
the
correct. Let
United
me
Red
correct that.
of
From the
Morocco.
Moorish Imperial Restoration Caucus.
Okay.
Let me correct
Yes.
that.
Okay,
Okay.
please correct it and say it slow and let's correct it. Oh no, you're frozen.
Everybody froze.
No, I'm not frozen.
I'm not
Not you.
frozen. Tamara is.
Tamara. Oh
We
gosh.
can't hear
Yes, I'm
you.
here. Which is
Okay,
not
yes, could
yet.
you
I'm sorry. Yes, let me repeat that again. Looks like Angel is still trying to come on. But on behalf of the Moorish Imperial Restoration Caucus, which is a which is a caucus of advisors to help facilitate the various Moorish body politics come together into one central grand government in hopes of restoring United Republic of Morocco. So I just want to make that clear because we've been accused of a lot of things. So I just want to be clear on that.
Yes. But I
Angel,
have
you
your
stuck?
information on the bottom ticking by, in case people want to get in contact and learn more information about it.
now yeah, what do if people want to know more about the United Res see I'm reading from here. United Republica of Morocco.org. Is that where they can go to find out more information?
.com. .com.
Oh,
Dot
.com.
com.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
you're fine.
Okay.
I'll put
Well,
it in
since you've
chat.
been
Is that where I put
last
it in
time
the
you've been
chat?
here, we was talking about the establishment of the school. How has it been since?
Sorry.
Tamara?
The school has been great. The school is just celebrated its 1 year anniversary. Academy of Providence. Founders of Tamara L, myself, as well as Abdullah El Talib Mosey Bey. Then we have our wonderful teacher, Shem Malachi Bey, um, that is our teacher of the program. So we just celebrated our 1 year anniversary, and we have a
Wow.
new, starting April the 17th is the it's going into spring of our Sejuris 201 class. It's like the freshman, the sophomore version. So, because there's levels to education. So, Sejuris 201, which means self-taught. So that starts April the 17th. So please don't delay. It's not too late. Go ahead and get signed up. You can go online at unitedrepublicamorocco.com and click on the button Academy of Providence and go ahead and get registered for April the 17th. The classes are held on Saturday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by either Zoom or in person in classroom at the location of 602 Vanderbilt Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware. Um, 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 Location. That's where it's at. Or you can do hybrid. But the beautiful thing about it, all the classes are recorded. They're recorded and archived, so that way the students can always go back and refresh themselves up. If they miss something, they can go back and take notes. Look up things later. So just in case something happened regarding a family emergency or work related incident, you don't feel like your tuition is had went for naught because it will always be out there to go back and to relearn and reabsorb and things of that nature. Mhm.
Yes.
So very
Awesome.
excited about that.
Yes, that is
Yes.
so exciting. And exactly what because I mean you've been on this show before, so for people who might just be seeing, you and hearing about, the United, and I'm gonna say it incorrectly, so I don't want to say it. But hearing about the organization and the school and the classes and all of that, Is there a way? Because I was actually looking at something online. Is there? Do you have like a registration process, like where people can register their proclamations with um, the Res Republica?
Well, at the present, the Moorish Imperial Restoration Caucus, we were not designed in that fashion. That was not our mission because we know there are various Moorish body politics that are out there operating in that capacity. Now there are some that may need to have some clarification as far as the operations being in standing properly as far as proper voting and things of that nature. But that's an in-house internal thing that can always be fixed. Now that was not initially our area to be in for the Moorish Imperial Restoration Caucus. But what we are doing now in the process is creating a society of the caucus member, creating that society and to be able to help settle other Moorish body politics, social trust within their province. So that is a part that we are starting to incorporate probably within the next 2 to 3 months. And so we'll look to do that. And our process will be dealing with the social trust of those Moorish political body politics, settling their social political trust, so they'll be able to operate in that capacity to become the banker of that society and operate in that capacity. So that's the area in which we're going to be focusing on. And then all the various Moorish body politics can come together collectively and sign a treaty of amity and commerce one to another in order to send our information to the Hague so it can be redeposited to be for the reprotection of for the treaty nations, because we're already there. We already signed this, but we have to come back as a nation. It can't be done as an individual body politic, one body. That's like trying to create a monarchy within a empire. We have to rise back up as a nation coming together of descendants of Moorish consanguinity. So that's the message in the campaign that we have out. If it's not me, then who? If it's not now, then when? It's just time out for all the individualism, the backbiting, the fighting amongst one another, because the best way that we can all liberate is to unite. So that's the goal here.
And so I have a question, since the title of the show is A Talk with Tamara, Mother's Work is Never Done. How important is mother in this whole process of establishing the nation?
Oh my God. Mother is so important. It's very important. Now we can look at antiquity. We can go back in antiquity, and in all nations, civilizations are built off the matriarchal principle. Even though we are operating currently today in a patriarchal system, the foundation of its operation is still matriarchy. The foundation, not the operation of it, but the structure and the foundation is still matriarchy. So what does that mean? Now, the latest information that we can look to before we were usurped would probably be the Haudenosaunee, which is known as the Iroquois Confederate Constitution. Now it outlines in detail the mother roles. Now the mothers are known as the nobles. They are the noble. Their title is the noble because they're the ones who provide the nurturing and the structure of that civilization. And the inheritance flows through the mother. So as the mother appoints the Lord would be considered the son. The mother will appoint that Lord to be the speaker, the keeper of the bread. That is the Lord of that civilization. And then within that is a structure of your elders and your councils and things of that nature. So this was a civilization system that our ancient foremothers set up years ago. So the concept and the understanding of it is not, it shouldn't be new, but I know it's new because of we have been heavily indoctrinated, and our cultures, festivals, norms, and rituals have not been told to us. Those are things that just we never been told about. And then, you know, you have the um you have a lot of things that takes place where, you know, mother is seen as being unconscious, unaware, because a lot of decisions that are made, but a lot of those decisions are have been made off survival. They have been made off survival based off the construct of the environment that we have been subjugated into. So that's what we have going on, that, in my opinion. Now, someone can always say I'm wrong, and I can respect that. But based off my observation, my studies, and what's within my divine knowledge, you know, the matriarchal principle is very important for the restoration of our Moorish imperial divan. Very important. If we don't go back to those principles and truly operate in those principles, we'll be continue to be subjugated to an energy force that's not producing of its substance and life. We're not talking about just producing material things. We're talking about producing of the nurturing of the being. You know, that's what's not being producing. Like, just think about it culturally. What has really came out culturally of even our society, even the Asiatic society? What has really been developed culturally within about 100 years or so, you know, things of that nature. So,
Yeah, it's
so very important. Very important.
very. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
I can go on
Yeah.
and on about that topic.
Girl, I mean, you know, when you start to dig deep and you start to pay attention to, you know, the scriptures in the Bible, it says perfect love casts out fear. And we've been dealing with a fear-based society. And because we've been programmed to fear. And perfect love, that is a different energy all in of itself. So, and mother, she does that. She has that perfect love, that unconditional love, you know, provided she has the right frame of mind. But she has that. She just has to learn sometimes to tap into that. But because a mother instinctively cannot hate her offspring. And when we start to get back to that knowledge and knowing of self, mothers, um, you know, she will always have the highest good and intentions for her family, her nation, her tribe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
All the time. Yeah. So that's just the maternal instinct of everyone. And I know when one may hear, you know, we have to keep in mind that there's, I call it multi-level process of mothering. Um, because mothering is just not defined by birthing, just by giving birth. That's just not the definition of mothering. Now, mothering comes from the creation, what one create, you know. So a mother, she can create a replica of herself in the flesh. That's a creation. You have a mother that can create the environment, the business, the commerce, things of that nature, which benefits the community, benefits the society. That is
Mm,
creation. A mother can take on someone else physical creation and nurture that. So and create within that being what help it manifest what should come out of that, or help it along the way.
mm-hmm.
So mother is the creation of it. It's just the creation of it all, not just the birthing. Because I know a lot of people always want to challenge a woman when they say, well, how many children do you have? And I said, well, it depends. Now, if we say biologically, I can say zero. Now, what's my sisters are mine too. We all share the same blood. So what came forth from her, those are mine. So I'm not just auntie, I'm auntie mother. So if we count that, I can say 10. I have 10 or more. If I count my stepsisters, I will say more. And well, what about the children in the community? So if those children are in need and I'm there to help feed them or provide for them, or and we're nurturing and creating programs to help grow their mind and feed their soul and feed them inwardly, those are my babies too. So, you know, I personally would never say zero, because I see every child that I come across, when they come across my path, I'm their mother.
Right.
Yes,
I'm,
ma'am.
I'm their mother. I'm not a stranger. I'm their mother. And I think children know that when they are in my presence, they know that they are in the presence of someone who's going to take care of them, look after them, and nurture them and not harm them. So, yeah, I would never say zero, that I have zero, because, I do honor being a woman and being able to nurture any child that's in my presence. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
And so, with that said, the land of the mother, because when we talk about our ancestors and our, all of those things, it ties back to the land. And in knowing and honoring the land, you must know and honor the ancestors of that land and the mothers of that land. Um, so when we start talking about territories and different providences and things of that nature, they all have their own essence of mother. So can you just speak to that and how United Republic of Morocco will help giving that knowledge to the people about the spirituality of the land?
Oh wow. That would definitely come from the various Moorish body politics, um, that are assembled throughout a Mexim. They are the ones that will make that distinction about the honoring or restoring the matriarchal principles in order for the restoration of the Moorish imperial divan. Because the beautiful thing that the Moorish Imperial Restoration Caucus is that we looked at is in Wampum 99, and I'm just going to paraphrase, of the Haudenosaunee Iroquois Confederate Constitution. And it states that every nation, and I'm paraphrasing because I do not have it in front of me, basically
It's
where it
okay.
states that every nation have a right to its own cultural writs and festivals, and they are not to be disturbed by another nation, because those customs, rituals, and festivals were given to them from before, from basically from their ancient ancestors and their ancient mothers. And so let's just say you have a Moorish nation, Moorish body politic that is being restored in, just say, the Northeast Territory and the South Central. Let's just say just all those various different locations, right? Now, this Moorish body politic in the South should adhere to, because that's a violation of someone's divine will. Now, if that body politic has come together and say that we give honor to the basics of elements, the foundation of the earth and the elements, that's where it stands. If a body politic state that we choose to give our honor and reference to Islam, or another body politic state we choose to give our essence to Christianity, that's what they have been deemed to be their moral compass of understanding of their nation, and that's how they're to move. Now, when it all is said and done, everything's come from the essence of the elements anyway. fire, air, the moon, the sun, everything, all those, deities and pieties all derived from the essence of which they flow from. But if somebody just want to concentrate on one, if a society just want to concentrate on one, who are we to tell you? You got to have something else. So,
Yeah.
it's important for in that is the will. That is the will of mother. The will of the mother is for the creation. So that's why it's important for those nations, the various Moorish nations, to understand that principle. It's the will, it's the free will of creation. And when we're able to hold back true to our customs, our rituals, and our festivals, that is liberation. That is liberation. When you
Yes.
can't do that, you're under bondage.
Yes, ma'am.
So
The
that will be
prophet
determined by the people who have the full understanding.
Mm.
also said something like that as well. I would be paraphrasing, and I couldn't even tell you where I read it, but I know I read it. It was something that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, and it was that we have the right to make our own, our own customs as as we see fit. Like we can do that. So and everything always going back natural law. So I mean, if you're following that, you're always going to be on the right path, because you're right. Nobody up in this territory should be able to tell somebody down in another territory how they should be or what they should be doing, because who knows what's happening in that territory. Like, why are they doing that? They know why they're doing that. Love, truth, peace.
Exactly.
And if they're in true honor and nobility to the land and honor that, then they're doing exactly what they need to do. Because mother, if they don't respect mother and the true essence of her and ignore or try to ignore her in her spirit, they'll know. They will just know, because nothing will come to fruition.
And not right.
That
It doesn't work out. Don't how was that working for you? It didn't work out too good. Just speaking to mother. Mother's the first teacher. That's we took orders from her. I mean, I was afraid of my mother. Not that she was scary, because she wasn't. But when she said something, don't make her say it 2 times. And I'm the youngest, so I had older brothers and sisters, and I saw, like, okay, don't mess with this woman. And here we
Okay.
are. Right. Don't mess with her. Like, oh, she said to do that, you better hop to it and just get to skipping, and get what you get, and don't.
That's right.
Everything's going to run smoothly. And with that being said, mother being first teacher, here we are. Well, I'm not me, but that's just how important the teachings of mother, how important it is. Because here, I did this already. I have an older child, sending our children out to school. And when I sent my daughter to school or fool or whatever you want to call it, she was doing things that I never did, like showing you the different generations. Like when I would come home, or if I would go to school and the teacher would tell me to do something, it was against what my mother said. I'm like, oh, my mother said, what have you? You know what I mean? Oh, it was whatever my mother said, and whatever trouble that was going to get me in school was going to be much better than the trouble I was going to get in. But now with my daughter, she would come home and say, well, my teacher said, and I was like, I mean, when I could just go back into the Jasmine in my mind, I never came home and told my mother, well, my teacher said. Are you kidding me? That's just like, that just goes against that. That's definitely going against the law of nature. And so
Exactly.
that's why with son,
You're right. Law of nature, which is the creator.
yes, the creator said, my creator said this. Okay,
Yes.
so that's the law. I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am.
That's
I don't know that's my creator. And so here it is with my
That's
son.
right.
That's why I can't put him in the school. I can't. And I know, and that's me, because I have two only children. My children are like 13 years apart. So I know what destruction I saw it happen. And as much as I tried to reprogram and reiterate things at home, that program at the school is tough. It's something. And then you got all the other children in the school, like, they're all on code, whatever's happening there. So just getting back to not mother, how important mother is. And so making my own program with him, it's really important. It's working out so lovely, and I don't have all these outside influences, these agendas. Like, he really is. I mean, I'm not going to say he's a total free thinker, because he definitely is influenced by me, but he doesn't have, yes, which is great, because heck, I love him. So I'm gonna put the best stuff in, but he doesn't have like all these other things to contend with, like whatever the agenda is, whatever code that they're on, he doesn't have that. And then he doesn't have 30 other people being like, well, you got to get on the code of this agenda. And they don't, people don't even realize that they're being misinformed, or they're being miseducated, or they don't have real education because they're being miseducated. And so here, when we come and we talk about the Moorish nation and don't listen to us, heck, go to the Library of Congress, pick up a dictionary, a Black Laws dictionary, when you're trying to tell people things and they're looking at you like you're the problem. It's the indoctrination. So that's why mother, this is what the importance of why mother is so incredibly important. That's the reason.
Well, we have to also take into consideration that this was the divine plan of our colonizers, of our usurpers. Let's just call them usurpers, because they were not the original colonizers. So the colonization started just for business practice and merchants from our British Moors. So let's do that. So let's just say usurpers, the one who overthrew the empire. So, in 1908, they felt that our culture was not substantial. Our ways of living, our ways of learning, our ways of leading out, being creative, was not to a certain standard that they was looking for, because they needed to train you in their formidable hands to mold you to the worker bees that we are today, to train you to keep the gates locked, keep the free thinking mind busy, so it would not become, when they say, idle mind is the devil. Well, idle mind will unlock some things and open up some things. So sometimes it's good to be idle. Like for this pandemic, right? This pandemic. Look, I'm just gonna say pandemic, so we don't get censored. This little pandemic, right? Now, when it first kicked off last year, because I'm a introvert extrovert, right? So I could swing both ways. It don't matter to me.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
So when people was in the house, they was losing it. They were going crazy, stir crazy. I was in the house like a little worker bee, like y'all done left me with some time to now work on my stuff. I was like, I was getting it in. I was working on all my stuff. Like, honey, please, I got time to do this. I got time. I was reading books, researching stuff, because I had my time. I had the time that I wanted for myself, and I took advantage of that to create. Then what happened? They keep you so busy with the 7 to 3, 8 to 4, 9 to 5. And by the time you get home from traffic and you have to prepare dinner or maybe clean up, wash clothes, do this and that, by the time you sit down, oh my God, it's 11 o'clock at night. And then you got to try to balance, the home life, the love life, the work life, the creative life. Something's going to fall off the scale.
Yeah.
What eventually falls off the scale? What's in
You.
you, your dreams, your aspiration, your goals, your desires, so now you look like you have now be created the exterior of the world that has trained you to be something other than you, because you didn't get an opportunity to create what you wanted to look like, what you wanted to be like, what you wanted to sound like. So you talk like what they was acceptable to them. You walk like what's acceptable to what they want to see you walking like. You write like what they see acceptable, but those are not the true words and the science and origin of the words that that's in your soul that need to come out. So you got a pen, you've been given a pen that's not even your pen to draw with, and you like, and deep down you like, I don't want this pen. This you're screaming on the inside for your own pen to create your own canvas. And so
You want your feather and your ink.
yeah. So what happens is that, a lot of people understood that quiet whisper, and they understood that they now get a time to come out and be free and be me and be authentic, their unauthenticated self, and remove this layer, remove that, and talk about this and discuss that. So now a year later, you don't see the same person. It's like the what you call it, the butterfly is now out the cocoon. The
Yes,
butterfly.
ma'am.
Now you see the beauty. You see that inward beauty of people that was pressed so way down. It was just pressed down, bound down. So now you start to see a lot of beauty unfold. And now society's like, oh, how do we deal with this? Let's stick them with a what.
Yeah, let's get them sick first and make them think they need a salvation cure.
Yeah.
Let's make them slow again.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing. So I see a lot of beauty. I see a lot of beauty coming out of it. Was Gil Scott Heron talking about the revolution will never be told. You see the revolution now coming out. You see the revolution coming out. You see the evolution, the involvement of self within humanity. Now, so you see a lot of the darkness being just, being placed away. It's being placed away. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of bloodshed going on, but I see there's a lot of beauty that's unfolding because matriarch is rising. You see mothers taking their place. And when the beautiful thing about mother is when mother rises, the whole nation rise. That beauty of it. So that's what I see. I see the beauty.
Ma'am.
Yes.
I see, as in the words of Asa, in the COVID has been like, it's been terrible. It's like it's a tale of two cities. It's the best of times, it's the worst of times. Because people are getting, sick and whatever, and pass away. I've lost a lot of people personally. But just to what you said, like, I'm an essential worker, so I worked through this whole thing.
Same here.
Yeah,
I worked through the whole time, but my husband was home. He was able to be home. So without even having like a conversation, like everybody just played their position. Like, I was going out to work, I came home, I had a bath waiting for me, I had a hot meal. It was just like, in the morning before I go out the door, I have a hot meal. It's like, okay, house was clean, son was taken care of. It's like, just play your position, and so it's just like, I didn't have to worry about anything. And because it was so quiet, like, I know a lot of people worked at home. A lot of people were doing that. I had to go out to work, all the time. And so the roads empty. I could feel wind on my face. I could smell the flowers. I could smell beauty in the air. I mean, I was seeing things, and right, because you're just so bogged down all the time, inundated with things that are not serving you, things you don't even want to have anything to do with, but it has become a part of your daily life. And
That's
now,
right.
yeah, and now here it is. I'm like, see, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a bee. Oh, look at that. Like every little thing I could see so clear.
Mm-hmm.
So that has really been the beautiful thing. And because everybody just played their position, like I said, we didn't even have a conversation about it. It was just like, okay, everybody just got where you get in where you fit in. And it worked. And it worked, and it was beautiful. I got a better appreciation. I always love my family and I appreciate them, but I really appreciated having all of this time to spend with my family. Like, if I wasn't working, we're just all spending time together. We're just looking at each other and, whatever. Like, okay, well, let's do a project or, whatever it is. And it was just quite an enjoyable.
Absolutely. Like you said, that was the best way to put it. A tale of two cities, a tale of two worlds. What's been going on, because there has been, great illnesses that has occurred, throughout the process, as well as death, transitioning, people transition. That has occurred throughout this entire process. But it also gave back. It gave us our kinfolks back. It gave us our kinfolks back. It gave us love, because I think we were so busy. We have been so busy that we didn't even realize how fast we was running on those hamster wheels. Good Lord. We have been so busy, and I think everybody was just passing each other by. One minute you look up your child, two, and the next thing you look up, you're like, God, child, you ate? It's just been a lot. So what I see and what I'm seeing is that it gave us each other back. It gave us the ability to just sit down on the sofa, twiddle our toes, laugh, maybe watch a good movie, eat dinner, eat dinner together, learn to cook together. We all gain weight together. So
Some lost it. Sorry, no, sorry.
The COVID
gaining over here.
Yes.
Everybody laughed at the same time. Everybody cried at the same time. So it also gave us some unison and peace and appreciation for one to another. I think the tongue became softened. It softened the tongue. It softened the heart. It gave humanity. And it allowed mother to even heal, because you could start smelling it. You didn't have all that smog from the conveyance just polluting up everything all day, every day. You didn't get a lot of animals or anything being slaughtered. So mother had time to heal. So now you was able to start the summertime. I don't know if anyone recognized that, but in the summertime you were able to smell things that you couldn't smell before. Like you can just walk past a bush and you're like, oh, I didn't even know it was roses in there before. I didn't even know this was this type of bush. Like, and then the rain had a different element to it. And it was like, wow, I don't feel like run outside. I don't feel like I stink anymore, just from going outside and coming in the house. So it allowed mother to start healing, So that's what I'm at. That's what I've been able to see. And, my aunt transitioned. I had a couple of people that transitioned, and one mother just said recently, I had an aunt transition, but it wasn't due to this. It wasn't due to COVID at all. It was just her time and place and time. And my mother said, even with the COVID, even with the people that transitioned through the COVID, she said, you got to remember there's a season. And even if this season of transitioning, we have to get the lesson. What's the
Mm-hmm.
lesson in all this? We have to go back to start cherishing those that we are being loaned to. We are loaned one to another for this appointed time to grow and work with and intersect. So, take this opportunity, whether it's COVID or not, the transitioning phase will happen. But what is the lesson in this whole grand scheme of it? You know,
Yes.
so I see love. I see true love.
Yes,
Yes.
because mother is that.
I'm not talking about just the words of it. I'm talking about the actions of it. I'm talking
Mm.
about the deeds, the actions, the doing. I see that being restored in order to restore mother and to heal this land. That's what I see.
I,
Yes.
I, I see the
Truth
same.
and love, peace and justice, honey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Most definitely family, friends, like not being able to see your family and friends and all of that, that you realize, yeah, that is
Mhm.
what's nation building.
Yes.
Very
Mhm.
and like you said, because mother, I feel this great healing taking place inside of me. I feel interconnected to all the mothers in this healing. And
Mhm.
so that, like you said, mother is healing. And because of that, there's been a great awakening. I cannot tell you how many people reach out to me. I have a presence on Instagram. I have not really been on Instagram in the past 4 months, just like getting myself together. And I usually just go on every
Mhm.
day. 5 people say, hey, whatever. But I haven't been doing that.
No,
And
you haven't. I noticed. Yeah.
I haven't because right, I mean low blood iron. I'm like trying to get myself, together. And sometimes you just need that. Sometimes you just need to go into your special place and re-up. And
Mhm.
so there's a great awakening. People are, even though there's no presence, when I go on, I see like all these messages, people constantly reaching out to mother,
Mhm.
okay, and wanting to know like information, about, oh, can you tell me about the Moorish nation? What I mean, I'm getting people from the Bing reaching out to me, like, oh, where have you been? How can I proclaim my nationality? And so my
Right.
point of what I'm saying is that there's a great awakening, and this COVID has allowed for that, for people's mind to like, oh, well, okay, wait, but well, I have a minute. Let me look at the dictionary. Like,
Right.
what does it say? Black means dead. Civil letter more toothful. Let me look. Oh shoot, she wasn't like right. Don't listen to me. Go and look it up for yourself. But mother is directing that.
Right. Right. That's the
Oh,
beauty.
yes, that's our job, to
Right.
direct it. And I feel that not only the great awakening, the great people say reset, but right, it's getting back to divine side,
Mhm.
right? And in order to do that, mother has to be at the forefront. And I feel that, and I see that, and I'm excited. I'm excited about it because we have waited a long time for this. Like this is
Absolutely.
not my first time. This is not my first time here. you know,
Mm-mm.
like been
No.
doing this thousands of
Yes.
years, thousands of times.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is really exciting. And I just want to say, because I know you were talking about your aunt transition. My father transitioned a year ago today. So I just want
Love and light.
right, love and light.
Love
And
and
it's so
light.
he was a huge jokester. Like, and so April Fool's Day, but we know what April
Right.
Fool's Day is really about. And I was just like, right, you would like, come here. Okay, like you got it. Okay. But we know that April Fool day, right? I mean, it's like it's so funny. So
You like,
you know,
ha ha, that's not funny, but I get you.
right? Okay, I got you. I see you. Okay, you got me. But we know April Fool's Day is really about how we got tricked out of our
Culture,
the Moors.
the reset of the clock.
Right. So we know what that's really about. But even that, like, okay, Dad. So I
Right.
just want
Yes.
love and light.
Like we've
Big
just
and
come
Yeah.
into this new year. We've just come into this new year, and one would say, "Hold up, wait a minute, Tamara. January the 1st was the new year."
No.
No, that's January
no.
the 1st was a fiscal. It was a fiscal new year for corporations, but if we go according to Mother Nature New Year is March. It was March the 20th at 5:36 a.m. on a Saturday, which was beautiful.
Beautiful.
Was I up to pop champagne? Mm-mm.
Nope.
Lowering your frequency
I
with the
told, I told her Happy New Year before I went to sleep. I did do that. So the beautiful thing about it, when we rose that day, it was a new day. It was a new year. Now, and you can actually feel the shift. You was able to feel the great shift of the like the just the breaking, the breaking of the chill off her. Like, okay, so that was the beautiful part about it. To now, and now we're starting to see the beautiful. It's funny because I just noticed this year. The first color flower to come out is purple.
Mm.
Did anyone notice that?
I see all
No.
the yellow.
I
I
see,
noticed yellow. Yeah.
I see nothing but purple.
Well, guess what? You're in a different territory. That's why Mother would say, "Okay, right." So we see yellow. We're in the same territory. So
Oh
you're seeing
wow,
purple. So right, that's why it's important, right? Everybody, you can't tell somebody what to do in their territory,
that's
right?
right. I was like, well, oh, I was like, wait a minute. I only see purple blooming. So I was like, oh, okay, that's beautiful. So
What's the
I,
name of the purple flower in Wakanda?
Oh yes, yes, yes. That part.
well,
Yes. Oh, and look
well,
what
you
I
know,
decided to put on today. My purple
Purple.
amethyst. I decided to put this on rather than my beads, y'all. And
well, you know what? I think I have a little. Yeah, I do. I have like the purple essence going on with myself as well. But
wow.
I know, but when I was seeing it, I was like, oh wow, this is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, my phone is purple.
That sure is, honey. Yes.
We got
Okay.
purple.
Wow. And
Well,
none
you
of
know,
this was planned. Not a thing. We just connected. Mothers are uniting. It's this part right here.
see, someone said Midnight Queen. She said purple here in Pennsylvania as well. This is the Lenape territory of the Lenape Moors. So, but think about it. This is the area where, this is like where we fell. This is the area in which we fell, the crown, so where we fall, we rise up. So that's the beautiful part about it. So and then purple represents that crown chakra, that highest illumination. So we're talking about awakening and illumination of the mind, and so it's just a beautiful thing.
Wow.
On April 1st. No, less. Right.
Listen, nothing is an accident or a coincidence at all, ladies.
Not at
Mm,
all.
mm.
So when put mother at the forefront, honor mother. You know what else? What I noticed that the nobles, I find like I went to an event a couple weeks ago, and something was going on, and so the men were starting to like have an argument, and I said, listen, I said we don't have time for that. Everybody stopped. Everybody stopped. And I was like, I said, we don't have time for that. Just
Mhm.
like that. And it was just like, okay. We ain't got time for that. And then just went about the business.
Yes. Mother put her foot down. She said, none of that. No.
Yeah, I'm starting to see some of that. I'm seeing some of that. Like some of the lords may be a little they are still, they may be still in need of some understanding of their role, because even with being a lord, even with being a keeper of the house, with that, or even if you have not raised to your lordship and you may be in preparation for your lordship, you always have a noble who has set the tone. The mother has set the tone for the nation and how it should go. Now, one of the things I'm glad that I used to hear a lot, and this was what, about 4 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago, when I came into the movement, or the, let's just say the understanding of my national standing, my consanguinity. Let's just use that word.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like saying the word movement. I think that you have coming into the understanding of your consanguinity of who we are. Your
Yes.
bloodline, right. It's being reconnected to that. So, what I would hear a lot, which I felt was so very distasteful, and it was that, oh, women are unconscious, they don't know anything, and we have to hold them up, and I'm like, well, brothers, if y'all been holding the women up, if y'all say she's unconscious, um
Oh,
some of y'all ain't been doing a good job.
right.
Because
Right.
if that's the case, why does she still have to go out here and labor, and some of y'all still sitting at home? Now, conscious or unconscious or not, you know, mother has a place, even in her unconscious state. Even I'm just gonna say that as a woman, and because we all been there, and I think some people assume that just because you may not be conscious of your national, your consanguinity, that you're not conscious of life, or you're not conscious of some action decisions that you may make, right? So one would think just because you're not conscious of your consanguinity and your national political standing, that as a woman you don't operate in a natural instinct of survival and protection. That's just in us. It's in our DNA. Any woman worth her weight in any type of salt, and salt, that's kind of light, so it don't take much. She's going to
Mm-hmm.
have that instinct of protection, of nurture, of saying something, even if it come across rough.
Harsh.
Yeah, sometimes it come across rough. Sometimes it but that just may be her language at that time, because that may be her fear mechanism, that she may have to shout, scream, curse, whatever. But that doesn't mean that that's not her love. That could be her love language. It could be her love language. So, but it's her way of expressing her love to protect you, or to look out for you, or to, call you out on your stuff, my Lord. So when the Lords are out of order, I got to call you out, because that's not the direction. So I'm glad a lot of that has cooled and healed, over the years. I'm glad a lot of that is waning off, because that was disheartening to hear that type of conversation going on, as if a woman's place is forgotten, or we're unaware. Now, like we said, a lot of things are based off the indoctrination that has occurred, the economy, the system, um, in which, just a lot of things have occurred in our economy, in our society, and that has placed us in that fight or flight position. I get it. I understand it. I do.
Yeah.
I do it on all levels, from the woman who's twerking from the one to the boardroom. I get it. Survival. I get it. But we're all nurturers. We all, nurturers. At the end of the day, all women are nurturers. I don't care if she has fallen to her lowest of low. She's she still have it in her. It's
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So
Truth, peace, love, and justice. Yes.
yeah, this is great. I really enjoyed it.
Yes. Thank you for coming and sharing and, giving us the update and the insight and good conversation. Yes.
Absolutely, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Like I said, Academy of Providence, we have a course coming up on April the 17th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want, it's Sejuris 201. If you'd like to enroll, you can go to UnitedRepublicMorocco.com and click on Academy of Providence and go ahead and get registered because seats are filling up, Zoom slots are filling up. So go ahead and get yourself registered. Also, we had the Moorish Imperial Restoration Caucus. We are really spearheading the process of restoring our, facilitating restoring our Moorish Imperial van by bringing blowing the whistle. That's all we are. We just a whistleblower, referees, bringing all our Moorish provincial body politics together so we can ascend and redeposit who we are to the nations. And so we can do government to government relationship and have a say so on our land, restore.
Yes.
It's like, this, what we say, restoration, we restore the things that the locusts ate,
Yes.
So, hey,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Islam.
Yes.
Yes.
And thank you for having me once again. As always, it's great to see everyone.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you,
time.
Dee. Thank you.
You are really doing it for the nation, and just
Oh man.
appreciate love.
Yes, thank you, ladies. Thank
Yes.
you, ladies. I know we're all working on this journey in our own providence. I know you're both in the
Lenape.
Lenape territory. Yeah, Lenape Hawking territory, and a lot of work to do.
Yes.
We're here for it.
Yes. We are
Well,
very much present.
Well, the beautiful thing about it, one day we will all see ourselves on the field with our representatives signing that great trust of understanding one to another. So that way, when one see us, we can be ourselves.
Yeah.
We can be ourselves, unapologetic. We are more and nothing less.
Islam.
Yes. Islam.
Thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you see here, subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comment box. We'll read them and perhaps address it on the next show. And and if you like it, hit the like button. Okay.
And don't forget to share. And thank y'all.
Share this information.
Yes, truth. Yes. Thank y'all. Peace and love. Islam.
5 on the left and 2 on the right. The real